Hi there, Doc from Barcast Audio here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the Multistate Performance Test, also known as the MPT. Now, the MPT is one of the weirdest parts of the bar exam because it's not really like the other sections, the Multistate Bar Exam and the essay section, whether you're a California or Florida or the MEE for most UBE states. The MPT is something entirely on its own. So what is it that makes the MPT so different? First, the MPT isn't actually testing your knowledge of the law. And it's important that you remember that in analyzing it and preparing. Because a lot of times people get sort of hyped out, and it's important you remember that. Because a lot of times people sort of lose their minds over the MPT. Like, I don't know how to study for this. How do I really nail down these concepts? Because they feel like it's a real time crunch. And in order to really do that, you have to go in with knowledge that this is not a test on the law. This is testing your analysis and, more importantly, your organization. The other sections of the bar are all there to test your memorization of con law, of civil procedure, of property. But the MPT is not about that. They just want to know how you can succinctly organize complex information in a way that essay graders can understand. It's a little bit, I don't know if you guys were like me, you took the DBQ in high school, which is document-based question. All the law you need to know is within that packet that they give you for the MPT. So they're going to give you a library, as they call it on the exam. And in that library, they're going to give you cases, they're going to give you statutes. And your job from there is going to be to organize that information, to analyze it, and to sort of break it down in a way that you can synthesize exactly what the exam graders are looking for. And all within a 90-minute time period. And that 90-minute time period is the real crusher here. Because a lot of times people see all this information, they know what they have to do, but they feel a lot of pressure to get it all on the page. And that's totally normal. But as long as you don't panic, and as long as you develop good principles that we're going to talk about here, you will be able to maximize your points. But the most important thing to keep in mind here is organization. So that's going to guide our discussion. So what I really want to talk about here are 3 important tips. The first of which is understand what's being tested. And when I say understand what's actually being tested, you have to understand what I mean. The MPT is not testing your knowledge of the law, like I said before. That's what the MEEs are for. Those are the other essays, the shorter essays, or if you're in California, those are the longer essays. But the MPT itself is purely about testing your analysis and the way in which you can synthesize material. So if you're stressed about the MPT, or if you're having kind of struggles so far, it's important that you try to put your mind at ease, knowing that you don't actually have to memorize anything for this section. That's really the best advice I can give you here. A lot of people get caught up in the preparation for this, but they forget that really it's all on the page for you. This is a gimme. You should treat it as such. You should maximize your points here so you can have a little leeway if you forget about on certain other areas of the exam. If you blank on your 5th MEE essay or your 3rd Florida bar essay. The MPT is sort of a gimme and you need to treat it as such. So once you change your mindset going in, you're already on the path to improving your score here. The second tip I have for you is to embrace the time crunch. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you here. Even under optimal circumstances, the MPT is going to be a race against the buzzer, but that's okay. You have to move past the idea that no matter how well prepared you are for this, you're always going to be racing against the clock here, just by virtue of how the MPT is actually organized. 90 minutes is not really enough time to get it all on there. All you can do is really just try to maximize your points there. So the way that I want you to maximize your points actually brings me to my 3rd point, and that is outline, outline, outline. So I know that a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on this, but for me, the fastest and most efficient way to maximize your points on the MPT is to spend half of your allotted time, and I know that sounds insane, but 45 minutes of your 90 minutes actually just reading through the materials and outlining. Outlining. And when I say that, I don't want you to just say, okay, I think this is sort of a rough outline of what my essay is going to look like. No. When I say outlining, I want you to literally be next to your paper if you're taking it handwritten. I understand a lot of these bar exams are remote now with COVID and everything. But as best you can, I want you to be pulling the materials and literally copy and pasting law into a separate adjacent document, copy and pasting certain statements like this case is readily distinguishable from this case. And then you'll insert the case names at a later time. And I'll cover this in greater detail in a second video, but you really need to get good at outlining MPTs. That's not to suggest you can just skip over the hard part of learning how to write them, just that by virtue of what is being tested here, once again, if you can learn how to outline these, you can always score well on them. Because like I said, this isn't a test of the law. So if you can really nail down this process, this first 45 minutes, you shouldn't really need to do that many practices. If you can do 3 or 4 and really just nail that, then that will prepare you the best way you can be prepared for the exam. And that will set you up to really score a lot of points here and to give yourself some leeway when going into the other parts of the test. And let me tell you, you're going to want that leeway. The MPT for people who take the UBE is the first section you're going to take. It's almost like a warm-up before they kick you in the teeth with the MEE and give you some sort of crazy common law essay where you're like, I have no idea what this is. So I want you to sort of be eased in. I want you to go in with the knowledge that this is a beatable part of the test. And if you can beat this part of the test, you are really setting yourself up for success and hopefully for passage. So like I said before, I'll follow up this article with a more in-depth piece on how exactly to outline your MPTs. But for now, just remember to read the case law library first and allow the rules and facts outlined there to sort of guide how you're putting together your outline itself. So for now, just remember these 3 tips. First, understand what's being tested. Second, embrace the time crunch. And third, outline, outline, outline. These 3 tips should be your guiding principles when thinking about the MPT. Follow the channel and subscribe so you get the next of these videos sent right to your inbox. And be sure to go to our website at barcastaudio.com to access audio outlines, essay attack sheets, and more materials that will really help you nail down these concepts. Until then, I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.